Hello everyone, welcome to our Sunday morning video. It is December 21st. Just around the corner is Christmas. A lot of teams are taking a Christmas break now because these are the last games we have before Christmas. A couple teams have to travel on Christmas Day to get to their games, which is unfortunate. And I understand the frustration for Monroe, Blue Ridge, I forget who else has lengthy travels, but I get it. All right, I want to have a little bit of a discussion as we go along today. I don't want to just recap the games. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to kind of abbreviate that part and enter into a discussion. That's part of the reason why I have the YouTube channel, is for discussion. Okay, and we're going to get right into it with this first game. All right, yes, 7-1. Port Huron back to their old selves, I guess. They've fired off 2 wins in a row. Bobcats, they're in a kind of a free fall. They're feeling the frustration. Zidico was ejected in this game, and we'll talk about what happened. Okay, first period, no score. Seemed like a couple ticky-tack calls made against Bobcats. That's all up to personal interpretation and whatnot, but we got to a point where late in the period, late in the first, there's not just 1, but 2 infractions that the Bobcats are called for. 2 men get sent to the box. Zidico is irate, voices his displeasure. On the ensuing 5-on-3 power play, Lucas Lockney scores. Zidico has more choice words and was given the gate. And that was a turning point in this game, because after that, the Bobcats were the second period. They didn't come back out. It was it was ridiculous. It was a massacre. Second period was 4 goals in favor of the 3 goals in favor of the Prowlers, and nothing for the Bobcats. But the shots on goal in the second period, 19-2. The Bobcats not feeling it. And I understand that, but you got to continue to play. Even when either seems like the refs are against you or they are against you, and there's been a couple times when that's happened, literally, you got to keep on playing. Okay, so let's finish the recap, and then I want to get into this ejection just a little bit, because there was an opinion that was voiced on Facebook, and I want to read that. It's not mine. Okay, so second period, goals by Hakila on the power play, Luke James, Bobby Price again on the power play. So yeah, 3 power play goals by the time you get to 40 minutes. It's 4-0. The game's over, but we still have 20 minutes to play. In that third period, Blake Anderson scores twice. The second one, a Michigan. Yeah, we were treated to a Michigan, and that really got the crowd fired up. Will Wiggleman was fired up. Somebody had gotten a camera view like next to him, and when he made that call, he looked stunned. But yeah. So late in the game, Nick Stuckless scores a shorthanded goal. That was the only offense that you had from the Bobcats. And then to close things out, 15 seconds left, Matt Graham, another power play goal. So 4 power play goals by the Prowlers. They win. They're 13-11-0 now. Bobcats, again, falling down 9-13-0. Now, was that a bad call? The 2 minors at the same time? Perhaps, but I want to read this opinion. And Brandon, I hope that you don't mind that I mention your name. It's on the Trash Talk page. Okay, but he's not talking trash here. He's making a very good point. And I think it's very important to voice this because a lot of us have been thinking it. All right. So, Brandon Vaught, he writes, no matter who your team is, can we just all collectively agree that the poor officiating happening league-wide has gotten absolutely out of hand? Missed penalties, unjust penalties, poor assessments of penalty severity, bias towards teams, it's happened, and everything in between. It's an extremely big problem across the league now, and it can't be ignored anymore. We don't expect perfections of fans because the refs will never be perfect, but the inconsistencies and of which how games are run has gotten way more noticeable and out of hand this season. It's unsafe for the players, it's costing teams games, and it's ruining the integrity of the level of the sport. Brandon, I agree. We do have a problem. And I've been talking about it for a month now, about how every fall, like about November to December, we see a big dip in officiating. This year hasn't been a dip, it's been falling off a cliff. Really has. And I just wanted to read that because that's not coming from me. Okay, that's coming from one of you guys. And Brandon, I know you tune in. Thank you for posting that. I know that wasn't posted on my page, but I wanted to give it some attention. I'm sure I'm going to get some flack now on the Trash Talk page. That's what a Trash Talk page is for. Go ahead, fire away. Some of you don't like what I have to say. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But anyway, I wanted to voice that because, yeah, it is a problem. Again, whether these two particular calls made simultaneously were bad, I don't know. I couldn't get a real close look on it. I was watching this game on my phone. Okay, so yeah, my view is a little bit limited. And yes, a lot of people argue, well, you weren't at the game. Well, I saw what was going on just in a broad overview. I can't see all the ice because the camera doesn't cover all the ice. So whether those infractions were accurate or not, I can't say. But yeah, we do have a problem. And the next team we're going to talk about knows a lot about that. Okay, PD has been the victim of bad officiating in numerous games. So, yeah, just throwing them out as an example. But anyway, so we talked about this game. I took a little while to talk about this, so I want to jump back into this real quick. Twin City, a 4-2 win. They're looking like the old Thunderbirds. They are playing much better. They've fired off, I believe, 4 wins in a row now, 3 or 4. Yeah, they were in control early, 3-0 in the first period. And PD just off to another slow start and couldn't catch up. Seems to be the theme for them as of late, as they've been going through this losing streak. They have now only won once in their last 10 games. So, PD's got to kind of get together and say what's going on. All right, in this game, early on, very early, just a minute 16 in, it's Roman Kramer scoring. He scores again at 8:36, and then James Farmer scores at 19:23. Sean Kuhn, who was your starter for the PD Ice Cats, making his first start as an Ice Cat. He lasts 20 minutes, and that's the end of his night. Gonzalez comes out and plays the next periods, and to PD's credit, they really clamp down defensively. But at the same time, also, the Thunderbirds' game plan changed quite a bit too, and they went into defense-first mode. Gave up a lot of shots, but not quality shots. Okay, Babbitt was able to see most everything. He came up with a few very big saves, grade A chances. Babbitt playing very well right now. And so, yeah, after that 3-0 start, it was just too little too late, pretty much. PD does get goals from Konstantin Cherniak in the second. And then the third, Jan Salak restores the 3-goal lead. Thunderbirds get in a little penalty trouble at the end. Trevor Lord scores on the power play, and PD says, why not? We have nothing left to lose here. Let's pull the goalie, get a 6-on-4 situation. It worked. Lord scores. After that, I want to talk about this too. There was a timeout, and PD goes to discuss things because they're being given another power play opportunity due to a delay of game. Puck goes over the glass from the defensive zone. That's a 2-minute penalty. No question there. All right, so PD goes into their discussion. Jacob Schnapp first kind of leans over to try and eavesdrop, and then he goes to the glass, peers over, and is trying to hear what's going on with PD. He could have been called for an unsportsmanlike penalty, and people are going to go, what? Come on. Let me explain. Okay, one of the things that's just ingrained into not just hockey, but all sports is the teams have a right to their privacy. It's just woven into the fabric of the game, into sports. You don't eavesdrop. It's why there is always such a big scandal when in baseball somebody steals signs. Okay, that is taboo. You don't see in football somebody from the Baltimore Ravens trying to sneak into the Pittsburgh Steelers huddle. Okay, you huddle together. You say, "This is our play." All right. This is why you see the coaches when they're calling into the play, they're doing this so nobody can pick up. Oh well, I know how to read lips. Mike Tomlin just said blah 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 blah. Okay, there's a right to privacy, and when you do stuff like this, I think Jacob was just trying to have some fun. Quite honestly, I don't think he meant anything malicious. I don't think that he was trying to stir up trouble. I think it was more fun, but he could have gotten called for an unsportsmanlike penalty. He didn't. Okay, but nonetheless, because there was some discussion on some of the Thunderbirds pages, it's like, and the Trash Talk page. Really, we're making a big deal about this. It's understood. There's no rule written down in any of the rule books, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, whatever. But it's understood. You don't do that. You just don't. So that's why it's worthy of discussion. That's why we're here. Okay, so anyway, Thunderbirds go on to a 4-2 win. PD in a free fall. Twin City leaps over them. Twin City is now in 4th place. PD is in 5th. Okay. I'm going to kind of run through these next games pretty quick, so bear with me. This wasn't even close. Yeah, we got the blue magnet out. Binghamton puts an 11 spot up on Danbury, and it was crazy. Now, I do want to highlight a couple of plays because absolutely phenomenal. First of all, first goal scored by Danbury after falling behind 2-0, scored by Alexander Lagoff. Forehand to backhand move, but also when he went to the backhand, he changed the angle of his stick, and the way he flipped the puck past Connor McAnanama was absolutely stunning. Alexander, I've got to give you all the credit in the world. That was a fantastic play. I was blown away by it. And late in the game, we had a situation where the game was already out of hand. Now, Sebastian Risar, who started the game, pulled after 40 minutes. Things were getting a little antsy. And so the changes made for the third period, Christian Wong Ramos comes in to relieve Resar. Okay, not a good night for Wong Wong Ramos. He only stopped 7 of 12, including an absolute sick goal by Nick Swain. His was the 10th goal of the game. Yes. He's able to body fake and pull the puck back past Fennell, who was trying to slide in to make a block, break up the play. Then he just turned Wong Ramos inside out on a beautiful dangle. It's a highlight reel goal. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets shown on ESPN. Both of those goals, Legkov's goal and Swain's goal, they should get covered on ESPN. It was amazing. So yeah, 11-3. Danbury now 9-11-3. 9 meetings between the two teams, 9 Binghamton victories. The Friday night's game was close. It was a 3-2 win by Binghamton as opposed to 11-3. Connor McAnanima, 37 saves, and he gets an assist on that Swain goal. He got the it was initially the primary assist, and then I guess there was a little tap up to the defenseman who swung it up to Swain, so turned into a secondary assist, but nonetheless. Binghamton scored 4 goals in a 3-minute, 4-second span in that third period to just put it away. Okay, so Athens loses. And that's big news because it's only the third time that's happened this year. Now, I do have to say, Athens has... they are hurting. They are really, really hurting. They have injury upon injury upon injury. They came out and played, and for a good 30 minutes, were still extremely competitive. It was 3-3 after 1. I was beginning to wonder, where's the defense? And then finally, through a combination of Athens just getting tired out because they're short, they're short benched. They're missing a lot of key players to injury. And Columbus stepped up their defense a little bit. Then it became an 8-4 victory. I wouldn't call it a blowout because most of this was just late in the game. But Columbus does take down Athens. We had a couple of goals. First period, Brandon Picard scores to even things up for Athens. That made it 1-1. And then just 10 seconds later, Blacksmith answers with a goal. And then late in the first period, Zabad scored. And then again, just a few seconds later, Eric Neely counters. So this was back and forth for the first 30 minutes. And then Tyler Barrow scores 13:42 at the second period. At this point, Athens is starting to get worn down. So I've got to give Athens full credit. They played as well as they could, missing a lot of guys. A lot of guys just not feeling very well right now. A lot of aches and pains, and it's more severe than just aches and pains. Hockey players are tough. They play through as much as they can. So, nonetheless, Columbus earned the split, and good for them. 13-8-0, and Athens still in first place, but not by much. 18-3-0. Their lead over Monroe is now 1 point. Monroe had the benefit of 3 wins over the weekend, playing 3 games. So Athens does have a game in hand on Monroe, but nonetheless, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, Watertown. Let's back up a little bit. Indiana jumps out to a 2-1 lead. Watertown storms back, takes a 4-2 lead. It becomes 4-3, and then Indiana, all of them in the third period. We did have a couple of unfortunate incidents in this game. Late in the game, Egor Filipov ended up getting himself into trouble. Gets the gate. And that was an aggressor penalty. That's going to be an automatic 1-game suspension. And then earlier in the game, Dawson, he gets himself into trouble, probably looking at a suspension most likely. I would be very surprised if that's not a game as well. So we already had a bunch of suspensions plus rescinded suspensions from Friday. I got a couple more to talk about. But anyway, I'm not sure what happened to Chris Kerr, who started the game, because I was not watching this game until very late. I watched the very end of this game, but Kerr started the game, and then at the 3:12 mark of the second period, he's changed out for John Werber. It wasn't because he gave up a goal. It was just apparently. So if you know, you can comment down below. Let me know what happened. I hope Chris is all right. John Werber, after a not very good game on Friday night, fantastic last night, and he stopped bleeding as Watertown surged ahead, allowed Indiana to get back into it, and finally it is Ethan Esposito scoring at 9:29 of the third period for the game-winning goal. And Indiana earns their split, as I predicted. So Watertown 9-11-2. They're in 5th place because of that free fall going on with the Bobcats, and Indiana now 5-15-2. For this game, again, here is another game in which I saw a little bit of this, not the whole thing, but in the second period, things really fell apart for the Zidico on the officiating front. Some very questionable calls as far as penalties being assessed, other penalties not being called, and then a disputed goal. Jacob Gagnon, he ties it up at 3-3, but it looked like it could have been played with a high stick of the puck, which would have washed out the goal. So the officials go in for a discussion, and it's a long, long discussion. Baton Rouge TV, the feed goes to a series of commercials because Brian Flores really doesn't feel like it's necessary for people to watch a bunch of people standing around. So you go to advertisements. All right, fine. Come back finally after almost 5 minutes. It's a good goal. The Zidico fans are irate. Chad Bailey, after the game ended, had some choice words for the official. I'm not sure if he might get fined for that. That had happened earlier this year, so we'll see. But anyway, Zidico end up feeling like they got robbed because that sends the game into overtime. Connor Lynn scores 9 seconds in, and that's it. In the words of Brian Flores, what should have been a 3-point weekend, 3-point game turned into 1. Zidico do get the 1 point. Second game in a row, they lose in overtime. Third game in a row, they lose by a goal. So, they've earned points, but they're just not getting the wins. 4-3, Topeka improves to 13-6-0. Zidico 3-11-5. And then finally, this game wasn't this close. It was it was 4-0 at the end of one. Biloxi kind of came back in the third period, but the damage had already been done. You had a goal by Jared Christie. You had a goal by Corson Green, Carlos Fernandez. You had 3 assists from Lariakos, 2 from Christie, 2 from Scantlebury, an assist each for Green and Fernandez. So, yeah, it's same old story. And this is another case of teams meeting together and it's all one-sided. In the series up to this point, the Monroe Moccasins have outscored the Breakers by a count of 69-25. So this was they lost 3-1 to Monroe Friday. 6-4 on Saturday. Borodkin got back-to-back starts. I can understand the decision to start Borodkin as opposed to Rosenzweig after what happened the last time Rosenzweig was in Monroe. So there you go. Nolan Egbert, he gets the win, 21 of 25 on the saves. Corey Cunningham, he scores the game-winning goal, 11:47 in the second period. And there you go. 48 shots at 25. Yeah. The slow start is what's killing the Breakers. Again, shots 23-5 in that first period. And there you go. So that wraps things up. Thank you for joining my little TED Talk today. Hopefully it makes this a little more interesting. And again, if you want to roast me on the Trash Talk page, go ahead. Yeah, I've just voiced a viewpoint, and if you take umbrance to it, well, yeah, that's up to you. Okay, for the remainder of this week, of course, it's Christmas week, so I'm going to have Stars and Standings, as we always do. I will print it tonight, and it'll be posted for you for tomorrow. Let's see who the top stars of the week are. Take a look at the standings and notice how close things are getting in the Continental, and how jammed up things are in the middle of the Empire, things like that. Tuesday night, I will do a news and notes video. It'll be there for Wednesday. I don't plan on doing anything after about noon on Wednesday. I think all the news that would come across the board would be by then. Obviously, Christmas. We're taking that day off. So then the next thing would be Friday. We'll do our picks and previews for the following weekend. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in and for subscribing. For those of you who haven't yet, I still have only about 60% of all my views are from subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'd appreciate it. Make sure you're following me on Facebook. That's where all the news gets printed as it comes across the wire. And then, like today, we talk about it here. So, and we have our TED Talk. I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. And please have a wonderful and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. However, I don't know how you extend a proper greeting with Kwanzaa, but if you observe that, have an enjoyable holiday. Enjoy your Boxing Day, Canada. Have a wonderful holiday season. We'll be back with you very soon.